So it has been quite a while. Again. Um, yeah. So I've been trying to record other games and it's just not been working. So I figured, you know what? It's been long enough. I can upload content, interesting content. At some point, I will find something interesting to upload besides this. But this is the profile for my volcanic deck. The burn has returned, and it is glorious. So, the old school volcanic deck that I used to run looked like this. Lava Golem, Doomfire, Rocket, Slicer, this guy that was kind of a pain in the ass to actually get out. Counter, Scattershot, Little Foxfire, Burn cards, it was a burn deck. And it worked great. Until Xyz monsters came out. I actually quit playing right around the time that Synchros came out. And then when I got back into the game, Xyz and Link were things, so this deck was pretty much useless. So, yeah. Um, but after, like, I don't know how many freaking years it's been since there was direct support for, actual direct support. I don't count Reload as, support, even though it, did come out a few years ago. Um, the deck has changed into what you see here. It is not extra deck reliant, which is good. It is still a burn deck. It is an FTK deck. This is a FTK burn style deck. Um, it's not like it's not the only thing that it can do. You can play through it and actually, combo and stuff, and have fun doing that kind of stuff, I guess. But the main focus is to burn your opponent. And you can burn your opponent for a lot. A whole lot. So, yeah. Um, so starting off, we have Trooper, which is Rocket 2.0. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one volcanic card from your deck to your hand, except Volcanic Trooper. Its second effect is you can discard one card, doesn't matter, special summon one bomb token, which is a Pyro, Fire, level 1, attack 1000, defense 1000 to your opponent's field. Each time one is destroyed, its controller takes 500 points of damage, which is, pretty good. Then you only use each effect once per turn. So even if they ash the search effect, you can still get the burn or the bomb token effect, which is good because it can stop you from being even lead or imperm. They can still imperm it when you summon it, but if they don't have it, then they draw something and they draw nothing. They have a monster in defense position. That's about it. You're gonna give them a monster. If they can't use their imperm from their hand, they have to set it, and so on and so forth. Then we have the original good old classic Rocket. When this card is summoned, you can add one Blaze Accelerator card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Kind of a short effect, but I mean, this is like 2009-10 level of text, and this is 2023. There's so much text on the card that if you were to read it from here, you have to scroll down. There's so much text on cards now that if you had the ability to scroll down, you would have to scroll down. just about can't fit all the text into cards. They're going to have to start making, like, cards into books, basically. Where in order to read the effect, you have to pull down a little pull-down tab that says, here's the rest of the effect. You know, it's freaking insane. Anyway, moving on. So, Scattershot. Very simple, basic effect. If this card is sent to the graveyard, inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent. If it is sent by the effect of a Blaze Accelerator card, you can send 2 volcanic scattershots from your hand and or deck to the graveyard and blow up your opponent's field. So, yeah. Blow up their monsters, which is quite nice. The new Shell 2.0, Rimfire. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can activate one of these effects, but only use one each effect once per turn. Can't even talk. Banish this card from your graveyard, and if you do, send 1 volcanic monster from your deck to the graveyard, except volcanic Rimfire. Banish 1 Blaze Accelerator card from your face-up field or graveyard, and if you do, place 1 Blaze Accelerator continuous spell trap from your hand or deck to your field. So there is actually a condition to activate Volcanic Blaze Accelerator, and I'll get to that in just a minute. That ignores. So, yeah. Good old Shell. Once per turn, you can pay 500 life points, add a Volcanic Shell from your deck to your hand. This card must be in the graveyard to activate and resolve this effect, which is kind of cool. Volcanic Emperor, your new boss monster. 3100 attack. Pretty damn good. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand or graveyard by banishing 3 Pyro monsters or 1 Blaze Accelerator card from your face-up field and or graveyard. You can only special summon Volcanic Emperor once per turn. When this card is summoned this way, you can inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent for each banished Pyro monster. So, it doesn't say each of your banished Pyro monsters. It just says banished Pyro monsters. So, I'm assuming that if you are doing a mirror match, then you can inflict damage to them as well. I don't know. Anyway, then you can set 1 volcanic trap directly from your deck, and each time your opponent special summons, they take 500 points of damage. This is Tax Dragon, but for volcanics. This is another new card that we got. It's not volcanic support specifically, but it's volcanic support in a way. You can discard this card and 1 other fire monster. Add 1 fire monster from your deck to your hand with higher attack than the other discarded monster. Also, you cannot activate non-fire monster effects for the rest of this turn. When your fire monster is destroyed by battle, you can special summon this card from your hand. That's not really that great. It's 1850 and it's level 5. This would have been great in like 2006 when, tribute summoning was still a thing. But it's not much anymore, so. You can only use each effect of hit the fire channeler once per turn. Let's see. Oh yeah, the Fire Dog. Awakening of the Possessed. I can't pronounce that name, so I'm not even going to try. Greater Fire. You can special summon this card from your hand or deck by sending 1 face-up spellcaster monster and 1 face-up level 4 or lower fire monster you control to the graveyard. This summons from the deck. And it can't be ashed, by the way. You can only use each of the following effects of Awakened Possessed Greater Fire once per turn. When this card is special summoned by its effect, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack points of one monster they control. So, yeah. Keep in mind, it's original attack points. So, if they have a Nibiru token, for example, with 10,000 attack points because you were, not very bright and used Nibiru when they had a bunch of monsters with 3,000 or more attack points on the field. They take nothing. Just keep that in mind. Original attack points. The original attack points of Nibiru token is 0. Or question mark, actually. If this card is sent to the graveyard, or sent from field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Spiritual Fire Art or 1 Possessed Spell Trap from your deck to your hand. This gets you that. That's kind of the only reason that it's even in there, is to get that in your hand. So, yeah. Then, you got Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is Ash Blossom. Yeah. The original volcanic cards. The original Blaze Accelerator, I should say. You can target 1 monster your opponent controls. Send 1 Pyro monster with 500 or less attack points from your hand to the graveyard, and if you do, destroy that target. Your monsters cannot attack the turn you activate this effect, which is fine. So, this is still a good effect to use, because you can use Volcanic Scattershot, send off of the original Blaze Accelerator, and you can deal 1,000 points of damage by destroying a monster, and on top of that, you get to trigger the effect of Scattershot when it's sent to the graveyard to send 2 more to the graveyard to do another 1,000 points of damage and blow up their field. Seems kind of good to me, but, that could just be me. One of the new cards that come out for Volcanic support. It is not direct Volcanic support because it does not have Volcanic in the name, which is fine. But it is Volcanic support in its own way. Send 1 Pyro monster from your deck to the graveyard. This is Foolish Burial for Pyro monsters, by the way. If you send a Volcanic monster to the graveyard, you can apply one of these effects. Inflict damage to your opponent equal to its level times 100, which can end games. Special summon 1 Bomb token, which is Pyro, Fire, level 1, attack 1,000, defense 1,000, to your opponent's field. Each time one is destroyed, its controller takes 500 points of damage. So if you do something stupid and change of heart it, and take control of it, and then it dies, you are going to take the 500 damage, not them. So just keep that in mind. I've actually done that before. That's why I don't run change of heart in the deck anymore. Because I activated it thinking that I could take control of one of their big monsters, but instead of taking control of it, they actually tributed it in a chain, so I had to take my token. Yeah, that doesn't work. It sucks. Volcanic Blaze Accelerator. Activate this card by sending 1 Blaze Accelerator from your hand, deck, or face-up field. Yes, this sends from the deck to the grave to activate, which is freaking awesome. You have this in your hand. It's not like Tri-Blaze Accelerator. It's better than Tri-Blaze Accelerator, but also worse than Tri-Blaze Accelerator. This one has more limitations than Tri-Blaze. Anyway, once per turn in the main phase, you can special summon 1 Volcanic monster from your hand, which is good. Tri-Blaze did not have this effect, which is awesome. Once per turn, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Send 1 level 1 Pyro monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, destroy that target. That is the restriction that I was talking about. It has to be a level 1. So, the cards that you can send are these 2. Shell and Rimfire. That's all you can send. Can't send the others. Because they're level 2s and higher. I think Volcanic Counter is even yeah, Volcanic Counter is level 3, so you can't send that. I have considered running Slicer and Counter, mainly Counter, because Counter is a really good card. So, like, this is a card worth having in your deck, just to send it to the graveyard off of an effect. When you take battle damage while this card is in your graveyard, banish it from your graveyard. Then, if there's a fire monster in your graveyard, other than Volcanic Counter, which there's, yeah, all you play is fire, so, yeah. Inflict damage to your opponent equal to the amount of battle damage you took. So, I'm not sure if you can, for example, use this card after, let's say, battle phase. They hit you for 3,000, and then 3,000, and then like 500. You're at 500 life points. I'm not sure if you can banish this card after that, or if it has to be after they attack with one monster. So I'm not sure if you can deal 7,500 to them, or if you can only deal like 3,000 to them, or something. Doesn't really specify, but it says when you take battle damage while this card is in your graveyard. So, I don't know if that effect triggers like that or not, but, yeah. So, moving on. Foolish Burial Goods. Yeah. This is here to send reload, honestly. That's all it's there for. That is all it's there for. Foolish Burial Goods, it's not really that useful for anything else other than that. But, whatever. Pot of Extravagance. Because the extra deck is not needed, okay, in my personal opinion, the extra deck is not needed for this. There are 2 cards that you could use from the extra deck specifically for summoning the Fire Dog thing and going in for the OTK, FTK, whatever you want to call it. There is a couple cards that you could use for that, but it's not needed. It's not needed. So, it's, yeah. By the way, the reason that there's 2 Blaze Accelerators and not a Blaze Excel and Tri-Blaze Excel, Tri-Blaze is dead, basically. And you're gonna banish one of these or get one banished by your opponent. So, better to have a backup. Better to have it not need it than need it and not have it, basically. But you can get this back from the graveyard and the banish zone, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. But yeah, that's Foolish Burial and Pot of Extravagance. I mean, yeah. The Fire Art, Spiritual Fire Art, not going to try. Tribute 1 fire monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack points. Which is kind of neat. Volcanic Emission. Activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of Volcanic Emission once per turn. Take 1 volcanic monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it, ignoring summoning conditions, but return it to the extra deck. Or return it to the hand during the end phase. Don't know why I said extra deck. Target 1 pyro monster on the field, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack points. However, if you targeted a monster on your field, you only deal half damage. So if you, for example, use that to target Emperor, you only deal 15/50. Not a big deal, but just, one of those things. When your opponent activates, but Volcanic Inferno, by the way. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, you can banish 1 pyro monster from your graveyard, inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent. Then, if you banished a volcanic monster, which is kind of cool, to activate this effect, you can negate that effect. So, if they go to activate an effect on the field, like Jester, for example, a Luber, Gesture of Death, yeah, or whatever. Negate. So, that's pretty good. During your opponent's in phase, you can target up to 2 of your volcanic monsters that are banished and or in your graveyard. I thought it said volcanic cards, my bad. Place them on the bottom of the deck in any order. You can only use each effect of Volcanic Inferno once per turn. This is a continuous trap card, and that looks like Emperor right there. Just does that. So, yeah. And, I've played this deck on here multiple times. I have won with it a few times, but there's a few things that I've done wrong with it, and I'm not very good at being consistent with it. I keep screwing up the combos, so, you know. So, starting off with the extra deck, from lowest to highest, we have Amirage, the little fire unicorn rabbit thing. What even is he? He's a unicorn rabbit, uh, flying rabbit? What? I don't even know. Relinquished Anima. Now, this is one of the cards that you need for the OTK. The reason that you need this is because it requires a spellcaster. This is a spellcaster. It just says spellcaster. You do not need a level spellcaster. You just need a spellcaster. So, yeah. Link Grebo, good old Linky. You know, has his usual effect when your opponent declares an attack, tribute him, and change the attack to 0. Pretty neat. IP Masquerena. I like this art style. I don't have this card, unfortunately. I have the card, I just don't have this art style. $7 for it. Of course, now it's, $4, but, yeah. Nightmare Cerberus, and the reason I'm not going through the extra deck is everyone's seen these cards before. They're not new. Nightmare Cerberus, Solomon Great, Sunlight Wolf. The reason that you run this is because you can add a fire monster from your graveyard. That is basically it. The second part of this effect is irrelevant to you. So, Hita the Fire Charmer, not Channeler, Ablaze, 2 monsters, including a fire monster, which is kind of cool. I like that it's, attribute specific. You can target one fire monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your zone, discard points to, which is, kind of cool. If the link summon card is destroyed by battle or is destroyed by an opponent's card effect while in its owner's monster zone, way too much freaking text, Konami. If this card is destroyed while in your monster zone, you can add 1 fire monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. So, yeah. 1850 attack, which is not that great for Link 2. So, yeah. What this really should say is if this Link Summon card is destroyed by battle or is destroyed by an opponent's card, like card effect or whatever, in your main monster zone or something, there's ways that they could have made this shorter, is what I'm saying. Anyway, moving on. Nightmare Phoenix, Celine, Queen of the Magicians. Queen of the Master Magicians, my bad. Another spellcaster, but it's a Link 3. If this card is Link summoned, honestly, you don't really need this card. Which I'm glad of because I ordered the stuff to finish out this deck, which I was missing, and I didn't order this card, so it's not needed, but I will be ordering it soon enough. Or trying to trade for it. I know someone that has one, so I'm going to get one. Nightmare Unicorn, Apollo USA, Access Code Talker, Mech Knight Crusadia Abramax, Boral Sword Dragon, Underworld Goddess. This card is a pain in the dick. Because the way that it's summoned is you can also use your opponent's monster. You can also use one opponent's monster. Which is a little bit nuts, but, whatever. Now to the side deck. Nibiru, draw, effect there, evenly matched, and Imperm. So, you're not going to side out all of these, and I've considered running Nibiru in the main deck and making this maybe a 43 card deck. However, I have noticed, and this is stupid, for me anyway, if I have a deck like this that is super consistent at 40 cards, I go up to 43 to add a little more tech cards, like, maybe a Pot of Prosperity or Duality or whatever. I add Nibiru or whatever. I don't see anything. Nothing usable. I will see spell cards, but no monsters. Or I will see my high level monsters, but no low level monsters. I will see nothing that I can use for playable. Then I bump up to 46 cards. And I see everything again. I don't understand why, but 40, consistent. 43, nah. 46, sure. I'm wondering if I go up to 52, if it'll do the same damn thing. Because 49 would be inconsistent again, and then 52 would be 3 more, and that would be consistent again, I'm just kind of curious about that. I might have to find out. So, and this would be the deck to probably find out, because I can just add a bunch of tech burn cards like Dark Room and Backfire and all this other crap from the old school burn deck. And yeah, I can put the original Kaiju in here. That's in Lava Golem. So, yeah. Anyway, that's the deck. What cards would you put in here? Like, how is your luck with 40, 43, 46, and all that stuff? Do you have better luck with higher than 40? Do you just stick to 40? All that stuff. What would you run in here? Let me know. I'm open to suggestions about other cards to put in here. And by the way, this card right here, you do kind of want 3 of, but I only own the 2 of. So until I can get a third one, yeah, it's staying at 2 of. It's not a must to have 3. The only one that you definitely want 3 of, for 110% sure, is Scattershot. You either play it at 3 or you don't play it at all. You can put Rocket to 1 if you wanted to. You can put this to 2 if you wanted to. You can have 2 Troopers, even though I wouldn't suggest it. 2 Rimfires, 2 Shell, then add 2 counters, and just play a bunch of 2-ofs. But the only one that you definitely cannot do that with is Scattershot. Scattershot is the one that you have to have 3 of, no matter what. If they ever get to a point where they hit volcanic on the list, which, knock on artificial Chinesian wood, that they never do. If they hit Scattershot, this card is done. If they put it to 2, this card is done. And that's just, that's that. Everything else that you see here could be limited to 2, and it'd be fine. But Scattershot has to be at 3, or it has to be at none. Either keep it at 3, or ban it. Like, just get rid of it. No in between. And that's kind of what I think about all the cards. The limited list and semi-limited list is freaking stupid. Extra deck monsters? Okay, fine. Limit to 1. Limit to 2. Whatever. Most of the time, you don't play more than 1 or 2 of anyway. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm ranting. I'm going to end the video. So, I will catch y'all in the next one. I'm going to look into possibly getting some live action duels going. Maybe. Maybe a dueling book tournament with a couple friends on Discord, and, you know, we're actually playing against each other and stuff. Or on here, or whatever. This is kind of a simulator, but it has the unfortunate part of being like Master Duel, where it wants to ask you if you want to Ash Blossom your own shit. Yeah, apparently that's the thing. Apparently you can Ash Blossom your own crap. So, yeah. Anyway, ranting. Yeah. Catch you in the next one. Don't forget to hit the like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what you would run in this deck, what you would do differently, what I'm missing. Should I add more stuff? Should I take something out? Change something? You know, what should I do? Anyway, catch you in the next one. Bye for now.